Welcome to this explainer. Okay, if you love traveling, but you absolutely despise that confusing, stressful, and, let's be honest, super expensive process of getting your phone connected right when you land, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're bringing absolute clarity to the incredibly crowded travel eSIM market. So, which travel eSIM is actually the best? It's the question every single international traveler and digital nomad is asking right now. A few years ago, we had maybe one or two options. Today, the market is literally flooded, and it creates this massive paradox of choice. But here's the secret. The best choice completely depends on just three things: your data usage, your budget, and exactly where you're flying. But before we compare the heavyweights, let's quickly establish exactly what we're talking about here. An eSIM is simply a virtual or digital SIM card. It allows you to connect to mobile networks worldwide without ever having to mess with a tiny piece of plastic or, finding a paperclip on an airplane tray table. It's built right into modern phones, and you can get online in literally minutes just by downloading a profile. Okay, let's dive right into this. Here's our roadmap. First, we'll meet the providers. Second, the master comparison. Third, data models and tethering. Fourth, multi-country scenarios. And fifth, a pre-trip checklist. All right, Section 1, meet the providers. The top 5 contenders dominating the space right now. First up is Airalo. They're the legacy giant of the industry. They are the most established name and honestly remain the absolute go-to for standard vacationers. What makes them great is their massive footprint. They cover over 200 countries, including those obscure destinations that newer competitors often completely miss. Plus, they have this brilliant, unified dashboard for tracking your trips, and their Discover Plus plans are one of the rare ways to actually get a real phone number for calls and texts. However, their larger data bundles, they can get a bit pricey compared to the newer kids on the block. Next up is Saily, the modern all-rounder. Now, this one was created by Nord Security, the exact same team behind NordVPN, so it's the sweet spot for budget-conscious travelers who really value their privacy. You get built-in ad and tracker blocking, and best of all, it's a completely set-and-forget single-profile installation. You literally install it once and then just reuse it for every future trip. Then we have Holofly, the unlimited heavyweight. Look, if you're a heavy streamer or someone who gets anxious just looking at a little data meter, this is the gold standard. They offer true unlimited data tailored to the exact number of days of your trip. They even have this awesome always-on emergency data feature if your plan lapses. But here's the catch. The upfront cost is pretty high. If you only use data for occasional Google Maps and maybe some WhatsApp messages, you'll definitely be overpaying here. Now, for the bargain hunters, we have MobiMatter. Think of this kind of like Skyscanner, but for eSIMs. It's a budget marketplace where you can find the absolute lowest cost per gigabyte, especially for massive regional bundles. The trade-off? Well, you're buying third-party configurations, so troubleshooting can occasionally require just a bit more patience. Finally, we have Roamless. There are the pay-as-you-go maverick, completely breaking the traditional 30-day expiration model. With Roamless, you just add funds to a single digital wallet, and guess what? That credit never expires. Never. As you cross borders, data automatically routes right from your balance. No buying a new plan for every single country. They even include built-in voice-over IP calling to landlines, making this an absolute dream for frequent flyers. Section 2, the master comparison. It's time for the head-to-head matrix. Now, what's really interesting about this matrix is how distinctly these companies have carved out their own little niches. Airalo and Saily dominate that fixed package mid to low price tier, right? Meanwhile, Holofly stands entirely alone with unlimited data at a premium price point. And check out the data models. MobiMatter rules the marketplace, while Roamless is literally the only true pay-as-you-go system. Basically, your personal travel style dictates your winner here. Moving on to Section 3, data models and tethering, moving beyond the gigabytes. And this brilliantly illustrates a fundamental choice you face right out of the gate. Are you buying chunks of data, or are you buying time? Fixed packages are great for predictable standard usage with set limits. But if you plan to stream video every day, buying time through an unlimited plan removes all that anxiety of suddenly hitting a data wall. You also have to weigh ultimate flexibility against sheer volume. With a digital wallet, you only pay for exactly what you use. On the flip side, a marketplace aggregator lets you buy massive blocks of regional data upfront. It's slightly more rigid, sure, but man, you get rock-bottom pennies per gigabyte pricing. But here is where we need to address the elephant in the room for all you digital nomads out there. This is the sentence that changes everything. I need to hotspot my laptop for remote work.
If you rely on your phone to power your workflow, pay close attention to this one. Holofly, despite being the heavyweight for unlimited data, heavily restricts or entirely blocks tethering on most of its plans. This is absolutely crucial to know. If you plan to work from a cafe without Wi-Fi, you must choose one of the other 4 providers to avoid a very frustrating surprise.
Section 4. Multi-country trips. Let's look at some border hopping scenarios.
Okay, scenario 1. Imagine you're saying, I'm going on a multi-country road trip and need massive amounts of data for cheap. You're heading to Europe or Asia for a big backpacking adventure. You don't want to buy a new plan every single time you cross a border, and you want a ton of data without spending a fortune. The solution? Go with MobiMatter. Point yourself directly to the aggregator model. By filtering for their regional bundles, you'll easily find packages like Europe Plus that give you massive amounts of gigabytes to use seamlessly across dozens of borders at the absolute lowest bulk price. Now scenario 2. You're thinking, I just want a cheap, secure, reliable data plan for a standard 2-week vacation. You aren't doing anything crazy. You just want a stress-free, set it and forget it experience where you can land, have fast internet, and not worry about your digital privacy. The solution here? Go with Saily. It completely hits the sweet spot, beautifully blending user experience with security. You get the confidence of that Nord security infrastructure, really competitive pricing, fast 5G, and a clean, single-profile installation. You only ever have to set it up once.
All right, Section 5, the pre-trip checklist. What to do before you buy.
So, before you hit buy on any of these apps, the crucial point is making sure your phone is actually ready. Step 1 is totally non-negotiable. Ensure your smartphone is carrier unlocked. If your phone is locked to your domestic carrier, no travel eSIM will activate, period. Second, understand that most of these eSIMs are data only. Keep your physical home SIM active purely to receive SMS verification codes, but prepare to rely entirely on internet apps like WhatsApp or FaceTime to make your voice calls. And there you have it, the complete landscape of the travel eSIM market. You are now fully equipped to completely skip those physical kiosks and the outrageous roaming fees. So the only question left to ask yourself is, where are you traveling next, and how long will your trip be? Now that international data costs mere pennies, how is that going to change the way you travel? Book your perfect plan, enjoy that seamless internet, and we will see you in the next explainer.